Hi everyone, my name is Mia Panko. I am the VP of Recruitment Personnel. If you're interested in primary recruitment and you want to learn a little bit more, I have a couple common questions that we're going to answer in this video. Follow along. What would you recommend bringing to recruitment? Through Panhellenic, we give you a drawstring bag that you can carry with you throughout the rounds. So in that bag, you can put whatever you really want in there. Some people put like chapstick, sunscreen, deodorant. It does get hot, unfortunately, so you might want to do that. Or you can have your phone in there. One thing I do recommend is taking notes after each round on your phone, or maybe you want to do it in a journal. And writing down what you remember from each chapter's experience, because sometimes it can blend together. So for me, it was, who did I talk to? If you don't remember her name, that's okay. You can just say maybe what she looked like and what you all talked about. And then maybe say if you would like to visit again, or if you think that you might be a better fit somewhere else. And so that's what I usually recommend within the bag. And then, yeah, basically anything you would like to have, maybe a water bottle, anything that's up to you to keep you cool and feeling ready to go talk to all 15 chapters. Next question we get is, do you have any advice or tips for recruitment? So for me, the one thing I usually say is there's three main things. Number one, keep an open mind. Come through recruitment with an open mind for all 15 chapters. I want you to go and talk to all of the chapters, give them a fair chance, and then by the end of it, I think that you're going to have a really hard time preferencing your top chapters because you'll fall in love with all 15, which is super awesome. And then number two, it's your journey, and it's not anyone else's. It's not your mom's, it's not your sister's, it's not your roommate, your friends. Everyone's journey is going to look a little bit different. So if it comes Wednesday, you're visiting 3 chapters and your roommate's visiting 6, that's perfectly normal and that's perfectly okay. It happens. So don't feel like your journey needs to be the exact same as someone else's, and you don't need to be visiting the same chapters as someone else. So if this means keeping it all of your stuff private, that's perfectly fine. Or if you would like to communicate with your Rho Gamma or other women within your PNM group, then I would say you can totally do that. Sometimes talking things through helps, but we just want to make sure you are keeping a positive outlook on all of Panhellenic as a whole, and remember that your journey might look a little bit different than everyone else's. The last piece of advice I have is to remember to take care of yourself. This week can be long, so basically with each round, it doesn't mean you'll be going to all the rounds, but they run from typically like 8 to 5. Could be less each day, but it won't mean you're going to all of the however many rounds there are, so you could have some time off in between. During that time, make sure to take care of yourself. However that looks for you might look different for me. I personally I'm an extrovert. I love to recharge by talking with friends. If you recharge by sitting in your dorm room or maybe going for a walk, going to get a coffee, reading a book, do that for yourself. You need to basically just take care of yourself the best way you know possible. This is my biggest piece of advice. The week can be long, but it's so much fun, and being sure to take care of yourself the best way you know possible is the best thing you can do for yourself. Next question we get is, can you break down primary recruitment a little bit? So if you have no clue what you're doing, that's perfectly fine. I had this process explained to me like 4 or 5 times, and I got to campus, still had no idea what I was doing. Everyone explained it to me. I thought I understood it and I just didn't. So the one thing I say is you probably won't know what's going on until you're going through it, and that's perfectly okay. Learning as you go works just as good as knowing what's going on. The nice thing is that you will have Rho Gammas helping you throughout the experience, and so a Rho Gamma is a disaffiliated sorority member who's there to help guide you throughout the week. And these Rho Gammas will take you to each chapter each day, be your supporter, help you talk through things. So don't feel like you need to know exactly what's going on. I had no clue what I was doing, and it worked out perfectly fine. So basically, breaking down the week, you'll move in August 14th. So that's a Sunday. You'll move in, it could be early in the morning, in the afternoon. The university gives you that time. And so you'll move in then, and then you'll have all day to kind of get settled, relaxed. And then we have a orientation at night. And so this is where you'll talk with Taylor and I, and then kind of just get excited. You'll meet your Rho Gamma and then your Rho Gamma group. And so the Rho Gamma group will probably be women near you in your residential facility. So say you live on Able 6, you'll be with other women living on Able 6 in your Rho Gamma group, which is super exciting. So you get to connect with them right away. And so that's Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday is welcome round. So you'll split up each chapter, all the chapters between those 2 days. And so Monday you can visit with 7 chapters, and then Tuesday 8 chapters. And so during this time, you'll just talk very briefly with each chapter and kind of understand their values and get to know them a little bit more. And then that Tuesday night, you'll meet with your Rogama and preference your top 10 chapters. And so Wednesday, you can meet with up to 10 chapters. You might meet with 10, you might meet with 2, you might meet with 4. Anything is perfectly normal. It would just be maximum 10. And so on this day, you will learn a little bit about each chapter's philanthropy. And so this is a great time to kind of learn a little bit more about each chapter and help narrow down the ones you're specifically interested in. And then that night, you'll meet with your Rogam again and preference up to 6 chapters that you would like to visit again on the next day. So Thursday comes, you can meet with, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 chapters. At this time, you will learn a little bit more about each chapter. If the house has a housing facility, then you can tour the house that day. And then you kind of just get to know the women for who they are during this day. And then that night, you kind of make your biggest jump. You go from 6 chapters to preferencing 2. And so on that Friday, you will visit with up to 2 chapters, and this will be the last day, which is preference round. And on preference round, these conversations are a lot longer and more intimate, and you get to start forming those relationships with women in the chapters. And so by Friday, hopefully you have it narrowed down to which chapter you would like to preference to receive a bid from, and then obviously bid day Saturday. And so you'll open your bid cards with your Rogama group on Vine Fields, and then you get to go to your chapter for bid day festivities. And so that's basically a little rundown of what Primary Recruitment Week looks like. It's kind of a lot in just a short little amount of time that I explained it, but it will make a lot more sense once you get here. Another question we typically get is, can you explain recommendations, letters of rec, and legacies? So what I usually say is to have you check each chapter's national website. So things look a little bit different than they did in the past for legacies and letters of rec. So if you check the national website, it will say whether or not they are adhering to these policies and whether or not you should submit letters of rec or let the chapters know that you're a legacy. Most of our chapters on campus are not adhering to these policies anymore. This is a way to make recruitment a little bit more open and diverse and kind of an equal playing field. So if you do have any questions, I would check each chapter's national website, and that's the best way to go about it. So these are just a couple quick questions that we have been receiving, and I wanted to answer those. If you do have any more questions, feel free to comment below or DM us on Instagram, and then we can do more videos to help explain things for you.